Just going to run through a budget fishing combo. I know there's a lot of different brands and you can spend literally thousands of dollars setting up a fishing combo. And I know for anyone that's just getting started, it can be a bit overwhelming onto what gear you buy and what equipment you use. But I've personally used this equipment and it's proven to catch pretty good fish. So I just want to run through a bit of a basic setup just for starting out on lure fishing or catching multiple species with just one combo. You don't have to have 6 different combos. Hopefully once we set this up, I'll try and capture some footage and we'll go through fishing land base, and then we'll fish some bridge pylons, and then we'll go out and do some sort of inshore stuff and maybe even try and catch some tuna. And hopefully, I just want to put it out there because I know for myself when I was starting, what gear do you buy? And without sponsorship and stuff like that, like you can literally pay $1,000 just for a rod. But I've put together some gear that I've used and I've tested, and I just want to put together a package, and then as we go along, I'll record some more footage of what fish we use and what equipment we use to target certain species. But for now, I just wanted to do a very basic combination that anyone can afford and that can catch a multiple good fish. So we'll go through. I've gone to the local tackle shops and selected some equipment that I've used in the past. I've got several combos just like this, and this is my preferred equipment to be able to do it on a budget. And then I find if you have multiple rods and reels, you got that maintenance cost of servicing rods and reels. So what this is about just trying to show you the very basics of what you need to get started, and then you can replace it as you see you want to, or if it needs maintenance, you can toss up whether or not to pay $100 to get your reel serviced or just replace it with another reel. So we'll start off. I've gone to, I think this was from Anaconda. These Atomic Arrows rods are very good quality, blanks in them. They've got good quality eyes and guides, have nice sensitivity. But I've bought a pretty light rod, and hopefully we'll be able to go through and I'll show you that you can catch some pretty good fish just on a light rod. So this one is a 7-foot rod. I like to use a 7-foot rod because you can get the casting distance, but then it's also small enough that you can use in tighter areas. You can put it in your car, you can put it in your boat easily, all sorts of stuff. I like to try and stay with a 1-piece rod, but that's just a personal preference. I've found from hours and hours of flicking light lures, sometimes you can flick your rod in half if you're not paying attention. If you've got a 2-piece rod, it can split and you run the risk of damaging your rod or whatever. I just prefer single-piece rods, but each to their own. So I've gone for a 7-foot in a spin combo because it's the cheapest, easiest to use. Anyone can use it. The kids can use it. The wife can use it. Anyone can use it. And then it's gone for a 3 to a 10-pound rating in the line. But these rods are a lot more capable than they look. It's a nice sensitive whippy rod, but we'll put it together and set it up, and then we'll capture some more footage as we go along of how it works. But I like this split butt style just because it keeps everything nice and light, good and sensitive. It's got a pretty short butt, so you can flick it all day. It's not cumbersome, it's not in your way. But I've gone down to the local Anaconda shop. You can buy these rods, as you can see there, for $100. Pretty affordable rod, good quality rod. A pair of braid scissors. These just come from, I think these actually come from Kmart, the braid scissors. These cost like $2 or something. They do the job. You don't need anything fancy. We'll go through and we'll bundle it up. I've gone to, this come from Anaconda as well. Shimano, Sienna. They're not the best quality reels, but you can quite easily catch some good fish. I've caught pretty good fish on the same style of reels. I'm only showing you what I've used and what's been proven to work for me. Brand new reel. I think you can get them on special for times for like $50. They last. They do a pretty good job. Nothing fancy, just a little spin reel. I've gone for the 2500. I find it's pretty good versatile size, and you can even stop some tuna and some mackerel. That's got pretty good line capacity. Just fit it all together. Make sure your reel seats and everything do up nice and tight. This style of combo is I'll show you as we go along, as you can fish for anything from squid to barramundi on this sort of rod. We can catch some mackerel, some tuna. We'll go along bit by bit and I'll show you as we go. As you do your reel seats up, just make sure everything fits nice and tight, and that's meant to fit in. I've used these in the past, the Shimano's. They fit in the reel seats pretty good. Everything's nice and firm, nicely balanced, good and light. That's what I like. Easy to use. This is a Kmart brand. I think you can buy Daiwa brands, you can buy whatever brands you like. Again, this is just to show you that you can do it on a pretty relative budget. I think these cost about maybe $20 to $30 for 150 yards of braid. I've gone a little bit heavier than what the rod's rated for, but this is just for the stopping power. We've got plenty of drag capacity in this little 2500 that we can put a fair bit of stopping ability on some bigger fish, and I'll show you as we go along. But we can go up a little bit heavier in line class, but using braid gives you a thinner diameter than mono or something like that. I wouldn't recommend putting like 30 pound or something on, because it just takes away your casting distance and ability for that. Puts more resistance through your guides and stuff, more drag in the water if you're fishing in high currents and things. But 15 pound is a pretty good amount, probably as much as this little reel can handle. You could probably go to 20 pound if you like, whatever's available to you. It's just to show you that you don't need to, it doesn't need to be so technical that it makes it daunting. We'll go with 15 pound, and I'll run this through and I'll spool it on. I just do this myself. I've proven it in the past that you can spool it yourself and it doesn't slip when you catch a good fish, and there's a heap of different opinions on it, but this is just mine. Run through a couple of guides just to help guide it onto the spool as we go. I don't put any backing or anything on. Again, this is just a very simple setup. You can make it as technical as you want. I just like to keep things simple. I just do a very basic uni knot onto the spool. These sort of knots you can get to cinch down on themselves, and then you can clip your tail pretty short. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Maybe it should be fancy, that knot just slipped off. Any sort of knot would work, a double granny, triple granny, whatever knot you feel like. This is just what I've used in the past and it works for me. Put an extra half hitch in him to cinch that knot up. Ideally you want to be able to try and cinch your knot down onto the spool so your line doesn't want to slip as you wheel it on. We'll try and clip the tag end off pretty short, just so we don't end up with a lump. Make sure your bail arm's over when you tie that on, so now you can clip your bail arm on. just hold this between my fingers, lift the drag up slightly, and then we'll just go through and we'll spool the line on. Again, there's tension rollers, and you can make this as technical as you like. This is just what I've done, and it's proven to work for me. As we reel it up, you just want to be careful not to come up over your shoulder too much. It gives you a few wind knots and stuff, but we're nearly out of line on the spool. So we'll put a little bit more on and see how it goes. Just tie this line off to a guide for now. Same thing again. We won't that's it. You can see as we've spooled it up there's plenty of line capacity on there. It's nearly up to the edge. We don't want to come too much over this tapered edge or it'll wind knot as we cast it. And as we go for a fish, we'll determine what leader we need, and then I'll show you that again as we're setting up, depending on what we're targeting. Like you can target brim and whiting on this setup, so you can probably, although we've got a 15-pound braid, we can probably run like a 6-pound or a 4-pound leader on there. But I'll show you again as we set up for different species. We do different requirements for the leader and then the lure styles. But this is a good little combo to start with. That cost $50 for the reel, I think $20 for the braid, $100 for the rod. So about $150, and we've got a pretty good combo. And as we go along, I'll show you what we can catch with it, and then we'll do a review on how long it lasts. I'll be brutally honest with you. Atomic arrows, nice quality blanks. Shimano, always been pretty good quality gear. I'll show you more as we go along.